What's going on, guys? Adam again, back with Atomic Garage, and in this video we are going to talk about this Harbor Freight welder coming up in this video. Drop that intro. So guys, as the intro said, this is the welder that I use to melt metal. This is the MIG 170 wire fed welder. Now the part number for this, item number for this rather, is 68885. So that is 6 and 4/8 and the number 5. So how I feel about this welder. Well, first off, this welder is like an entry level welder. This welder was right above the 90 amp welder, but it's below the 230. Now, I wish that I bought the 230 amp, and the reason why I'm gonna tell you. Now, with this welder right here, on the 230 version, that is a little over 200 bucks, you would have a dial for your how hot you want it to go, and then you would have your wire speed. Now, I've got a dial for the wire speed, but as far as this weld is concerned, you have a minimum and a maximum, and a minimum 1 and a minimum 2 or maximum 2. Now you can flip these to try and get a better heat to it, but at times I'd find when it's in that middle range where if you had the dial you could fine tune it really good. With this, you don't have that tunability, as it were. It works okay. Now, minimum and 1, which I usually I keep it on for spot welding, tack welding, small stuff like that, it works good. Now, when I switch it over to max and 2 or max and 1, I can put some serious heat to 1/4 inch plate. And this welder here it says it's designed for 22 gauge sheet metal all the way up to 1/4 inch steel plate. And certainly I can say that this thing will burn if that's what you need it to, but you can't fine tune the heat. So that's really my only gripe about it. Now, as far as my ground, I haven't had any problems. My ground hasn't frayed or anything like that. It hasn't become loose or anything. No problems with that. Also, in the kit that you get multiple tips. I've had this gun for quite a bit of time, and this gun, I'm still on the first tip. So that's a testament there on as far as the tip quality, how good it is. And I mean, personally, don't have any problem with it. Now, do I wish that this gun wire here was a little bit longer? Absolutely. Sometimes it feels like you need to get this welder right up on it because it's not long enough. You don't have the luxury of being able to put this around you. You have to find the shortest route on top of your work or whatever to get this welder, the gun over to it. So, you know, that's one thing. But again, maybe I'm just nitpicking as far as that's concerned. The fan that's inside of it's pretty good. It's pretty quiet. It doesn't touch or rattle anything like my little battery charger, but that wouldn't have been a big deal either. And the wire I use, and you guys have already told me to go with a different wire, but I'll be honest, I'm cheap, and since I already bought another roll and I have a roll in there, I may use some of this roll, or at least finish up the roll that I have in there first before I change to a Lincoln welder brand. Now, the one that I use here is 035, and this is 2 pounds. Self-shielding, of course. And this welder, I think if you were to go to Harbor Freight now, I want to say it's going for around 179, somewhere around there, 179. And I think that's a pretty good price. I think this welder works good for the person that needs more oomph than the 90 and maybe either really cheap or just doesn't have a lot of money, or for the person this is going to be your first welder and you can't drop $300, $400, $500, $600 on a MIG welder. This would work perfect for it. You know, for under 200 bucks, this is a deal you can't really refuse. Now, if you have a couple extra coinage, that you want to spend, I mean, spend that extra, you know, 50 to 100 bucks and actually get the 230 volt, because that one is over at my buddy's shop and that works great. But that doesn't mean that you can't get results from this welder here. Now, another thing that I do like about this welder is the fact that you can switch it over to a gas setup, which is awesome, again, for that price of around, you know, 170 something, 180 something at the most. Fortunately, you can't throw a 20% coupon on with it, but still, it's a deal regardless. Now, so let's take a look at the side and see what's inside. So, this bit of wire that I have is really, it's like 2 rows from being completely gone. So this is almost finished. But again, the fact that you can switch these around if you want to, negative and positive, so you can go ahead and run a gas setup that's on this backside here. And adjusting this, I tell you honestly, adjusting this for the wire tightness and stuff is super easy. I mean, I set this thing within 30 seconds. Then first time ever doing it as well. About 30-45 seconds, and I haven't had to change that or mess with that ever since I've had it. I mean, if this thing dies today, I won't feel bad about it at all. Would I rebuy it? No, because I'm gonna go and get a step up. But this is absolutely awesome. Now, build quality. Build quality on this, it isn't terrible, but it would be better if it was a little better, if that makes sense. Prime example, I cut out earlier the clip of me opening this door. Now, I'm going to shut this door back. You already saw that, it was kind of like jiggly. Now, I'm going to try to open this back again and show you it can kind of be annoying. Now, that actually surprisingly went a little bit easier than I thought it would, but there were some times that I don't know what it is, but it's not releasing, and you could be like stabbing this thing back constantly, and it doesn't want to release this little piece here and be able to open up. That can be a bit annoying, but besides that, as far as quality, there's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it at all. So I do not feel bad at all for saying and supporting this tool and say, hey, I mean, you got the money, you need a welder. I mean, this welder you can't go wrong with, personally. So that's just my little review on this Harbor Freight welder. I'm gonna get you a couple of shots of around the welder so you can see it up a little bit better and up close. And that'll be it. So thank you guys again for watching. I just got back from vacation on Sunday, and it was absolutely awesome. Was in New York, had a wonderful time with family and friends, and almost didn't want to come back. But I am back, and we are going to keep cranking out some videos. Hopefully in the next few videos, it'll be me welding up a little bit more of the hood, or throwing some mud on that hood and try to make it look a tad bit better, putting a brace in between it. And one thing I do want to try, tell me if you guys would like to see that. I'm not buying a whole lot of tools, and I'm not buying a whole lot of tools for the simple fact that I'm in the process of trying to save and try to get some things taken care of so I can buy a house in December. So I haven't been buying a bunch of tools for that reason. And also, if a tool doesn't break, I usually don't really replace it unless I really want it. Harbor Freight has this Hercules brand, which they've had for, I think I want to say is a newer brand, the Hercules series, and it looks pretty good actually. I mean, it looks kind of like Makita a tad bit. I mean, didn't look into it, so I don't know a whole lot, but it seems more industrial quality, and it looks really good, and I wouldn't mind trying some of this stuff. But that's the reason why I'm not doing humongous Harbor Freight tool hauls and stuff like that. But anyway, that's it for today. And if you guys have any questions, please feel free to comment below. Please like the video. If you're new, please consider subscribing. I appreciate that. And yeah, that's about it. Peace out.